Well, thanks to you, I am no longer retired. I had 7 practices and did coaching, and I moved out on the West Coast to retire and learn how to surf. But thanks to you and your course, it's kind of turned it back into a full-time job. I'm getting busy, to be honest with you.
So, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here with Dr. Brian Holly, who is a freaking beast. So to give you his quick overview so you guys are up to speed, because the last part kind of cut out a little bit, the guy has 7 practices in the chiropractic space, correct?
Yep.
And he sells those and pretty much retires and decides to come out of retirement as he moves to San Diego, California to live on the beach. So right now we are in the man's office. So he started working with us about January, early February, right when my daughter was born. And since then, the guy has 30 new clients that are all paying on average about $3,000, meaning from that office that you're looking at him in, the guy's pulling in $90,000. Is he a super creature human? Yes. But is he just like you and I? Yes. Yeah. And so what we're going to do right now is just dive into this awesome success that you're having. Big ups to you. Like, congratulations. That's fantastic. And to find out how, so that we could model what he's doing that's working so well, right? So let's start from how. How did you end up gaining so many clients?
For years, I've been traveling around speaking, doing lectures to audiences at colleges, universities, for medical graduates, doing continuing ed courses for them. So I had quite a following from that, and I had a pretty good email base. I'm also the national advisor to a couple medical companies that have, ungodly email lists. So number one, obviously, you always want to pick the easiest and the lowest hanging fruit, so you tap into that. And then secondly, I used what I learned in your course on how to market to other chiros and other health professions through social media. So that's what we did. So it was a 1-2 punch, and that's how I've been doing it. And I think I sent you guys one of my ads the other day just so you can look at it. Yeah. That went out to over 60,000 DCs in the U.S. and Canada. So and that's what we do.
I want to point that out to everybody is you leverage the heck out of your assets. You look at your current database and said, I already have an email list of all these people. I've been doing this for years. All my relationships are here. All my credibility is here. I might as well turn this and use this as my launching pad, and launch you clearly did. I mean, it's insane. And so too many times I think people sleep on what's right in front of them. So I commend you for leveraging your network to then go to this next level, because I talk to a lot of people like you every day who I'm like, well, how big is your email list? And they have these assets, but they don't use them. They don't use them. And so huge shout out to you. And then also people are watching this right now and you're like, well, he already has this and that. Well, guess what? The man had to work to get there. That wasn't given to you. You weren't giving toxin on the National Advisor Board because of nothing. You worked hard for it. So at the same time, people who are watching, there is no magical bullet to success. The man's been working his ass off, but now he's able to leverage his other success to build new ones.
Absolutely. Even if I didn't have the list that I already had in the connections, just doing the target marketing to potential chiros and medical things and businesses throughout the U.S., you're still going to build it regardless. Absolutely. I just had a little bit easier helping. And again, like you said, before you launch out, you got to look what you already have, what your positives are, and what you have to build your platform from. And then from there, you branch out and go wherever else. And I use the gut check. If I see where I'm at and I want to go off to this direction, if it doesn't feel right, it means I don't have passion about it. I've lived long enough to know it ain't going to work the way I want it to do. So I'll follow where it feels right. And then just keep expanding and do gut checks all along the way. And, this is fun. I mean, this is no more suit and ties and lab coats and stethoscope. This is my office attire. So, I mean, in my office, this is fun.
Do you mind if I dive into that before we kind of dive into some of the technical nitty-gritty strategic stuff? But
I'm an open book. Go ahead.
Yeah, we talked about why a little bit earlier. You had success and you're coming into here. When you were coming and you had these, like you just said, you were kind of in, your doctor outfit all the time and you had these 7 clinics. Did you start towards the end to lose your passion? What made you kind of want to exit there?
We did, and I think what happens is, you always got to challenge yourself, whether it be physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it be. And I was at the point, well, I did one clinic, great, we got it successful, we're making money, let's do 2, let's do 3, let's do 4. We got 7, and after a while, it's like, okay, what do we do? Let's integrate with medical docs. So we had a whole medical facility. Then I got, all right, well, I got those going, I'm running them by statistics. Yep. I have doctors working for me, so I'm not seeing patients, so I'll go on a speaking tour and tell other people how to do it. So that's what I did. Then after that, I was like, okay.
I want to point that out because you guys, if you've seen our other talks, you know that a repeatable process is everything. And you just hit the nail on the head when it comes to scaling. Everyone always asks, how do I scale my business? How do I scale my business? Well, if you're not focused enough to be doing that same thing again and again and again, you won't scale. And so I think that's fantastic how you're giving that example of, you had one location, you figured out all the mistakes and the kinks on that, got it working well, and said, you know what, I'm going to do this again. Oh, that worked. I'm going to do it again. Pretty soon you proved it to yourself enough and said, all right, I understand this game now. And then you said it becomes stats. It's just one big math equation, right? It was one big math equation.
Right. Beautiful. And, that was okay. And I thought, well, geez, I'm a one guy doing this. What else can I do? And then talking from stages to other people, what's the one thing they have to have? They have to have customers, not healthcare, but just customers. Yep. And the number one problem I've seen that all of them don't know is they don't know who the avatar is for their business. They don't know who their ideal customer is.
Okay, so let's take that too. So he's identifying a problem in the marketplace. He says, look, I have this network and I understand that. So is it mostly doctors, chiropractors, just so I'm on the right page?
Yes. Probably 80% chiros.
Okay, so he takes the chiropractor and says, God, overall as a whole, they're missing 2 things. Number 1, they never have enough customers. And number 2 is they have no idea who they're supposed to, quote unquote, market to. And so you see that, and you having more of the marketing background, you're in the outside looking in at this problem and saying, I need a solution to fix it. So now let's come into when you come into our training. And now we kind of give you a system to put it behind. How did you kind of marry and take this problem with our system and put it together to create what you've created?
Well, like you said, first of all, you got to identify, it's easy for us outside the picture to see the problem. Yep. The second trick was to have them realize there is a problem. So the best thing that I do before I even take on a customer is I will say, okay, who's your client and what do you want to attract? And if you have other people working under you, then I want you to do this for a day. I want you to give them a form and say, hey, who's our ideal customer? And I guarantee your staff will come up with all different customers. And that's why it's not working. So before I take them on, I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. Yep. Then what I liked about with you is it had a system, a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and it's like a recipe. You just follow the cookbook, and you adapt it to make it
to my ears to hear you say that, because when I created the course, like that's what was in my head is like, if no one could ever speak to me and I had to give them these steps and they just had to follow these, how can we print that out? So that like makes me so happy to hear that that's what you did. You took the information, you put it into what you knew and your expertise. And so let's talk about when you first started to put the test, right? Because obviously like you can put a system into place, you can do everything right. But when you actually started to test and when you saw results for the first time?
When we first started out, I had because I was new at this, I was used to charging in my clinics and having my doctors charge $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for case management and stuff like that. But this here was a new game. And I said, well, gosh, people aren't, I fell back to the original younger version of myself saying, well, people aren't going to pay $2,000, $3,000 for me to market their thing.
The limiting belief, limiting belief right there is
absolutely.
You proven it out before, so it was like, I don't want to take their money. If it doesn't work, it could flop. Like the Billie Jean guy, he may be right, but I don't know. Like I get it. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, let's do $4.99 and see if we can get a couple $100 in marketing. I'll make a couple $100. It doesn't work. So a couple things also is I've always taught my clients, other people's financial problems are not your financial problems. And your fee is your fee is your fee. You stick to it because you're good at what you do. So I started doing my own thing back again, sitting on the beach.
But I love how you did that to earn yourself the confidence, right? Like sometimes you just got to prove it to yourself. So you went down, I was like, all right, cool. But as soon as you were like, okay, this is it, you went right back to you, which is okay to do. And I love that.
Oh, Absolutely. And, it's called the eagle eye view. Whenever you're doing power coach, it's called eagle eye view awareness, and you do that and you check it in. But what I found out is the ones that I was having more trouble signing up people for $4.99 than I am at $29.95. I'm getting more signing up for that. It's the quality thing.
That is.
Oh, because people equate spending more money with a higher quality service. Plus, I'd rather have 30 people at $3,000 than 3,000 at 300 or 400. So much easier, less work, great taste, less filling.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So that was my big step when I finally got out of my own head and started doing
you ran that campaign for the first one at $500, and you don't have to give us all your goodies away, but what'd you do for me? What was the result that you saw? What was the light bulb moment for you to make you say, wow, I think I'm onto something here. I think I have a solution to that problem we mentioned earlier.
Well, first of all, I started seeing the chatter on Facebook. You started getting the ads in front of the right people, and we did 2 or 3 ads. We did the same ad to 2 or 3 audiences, and we monitored over a couple of days, see which ones got the better results. But then we ran out of spending money really quick. It's like, okay, well, what do I do? So I started taking a little extra out of my pocket, out of that I was supposed to be for my fee to make it work. What we found is that if I took, how can I put this? If I have a $200 a week allowance to spend on ad money, if I spend X amount per day, like $30 a day, $20 a day, and just go on through, if I spend $200, $20 a day for 10 days, I really will not get in front of the Facebook bell curve that's there. I won't get my ad promoted. But if I take that $200 and do $50 or $60 a day for 3 days, $180, man, then the phone starts ringing, then stuff starts happening. That was a lesson learned as well.
Yeah, yep. And what's beautiful about Facebook and what people don't realize is, think about it. Like, you can spend $60 in a heartbeat, and you can find out information just like that. You didn't used to be able to do that. You used to have to buy surveys and do marketing research for days to figure out anything and pay these people to do these expensive focus groups for $5,000. And I was like, no, I just dropped 30 on Facebook. I know it works.
Right. And that's what I did. So what we start doing is I tell the clients to say, listen, we're gonna date. So for the first couple days, I'm gonna be dating your demographic area. I'm gonna drop some trickle money in, $60, $70, 3 or 4 ads, see what happens. Then we target the one that's working, where we're pulling from. Then we start dumping the money in, and that's when the magic happens.
I love it. So what kind of results were your clients seeing?
The clients, once we got this down a little bit better, got our mojo going, I'm going to say one we just did last week, I got off a conference call with them. It was for a peripheral neuropathy ad. And
can you explain to everybody what that is for us?
I was just going to say, let me back up a little bit. It's the numbness and tingling that goes down the legs to the feet. Like if you sit cross-legged for a while, you get the pins and needles.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of times diabetics have that as a byproduct due to the disease. And let's face it, 85% of the U.S. population has some form almost nowadays. Okay. So we started targeting that. And what they were doing, we targeted specific audiences, and we played with the ads. And the clients, I told you previously, I can repeat it later if we want to, they're getting anywhere between 5 and 6 calls a day on this. Love it. And what I was telling the clients, because they always ask me, now you're guaranteeing bodies in my office. And I'm saying, absolutely not. I guarantee we can get the phone to ring. And what I always explain to them is, listen, your clients are not going on Facebook looking for your services. They're going on Facebook to watch drunken Bubba jump in a flaming swimming pool or the kids.
Yep.
Our job as a marketer is to put an ad in front of them that triggers an emotional response to get them to stop scrolling, and then have a call to action to click on the ad and go to the landing page. And then your offer has to be strong enough to get them to pick up the phone or give the email or to come in. And then once they go from there, that's up to you guys. And I kind of give them a little coaching on what to do, script, and to say to get them in. And that's how it's been working.
You've been there and you've done that before. So it's a perfect fit for you because you're leveraging all of the expertise that you picked up from having 7 clinics. And you know exactly, once you get them on the phone, here's what you do. So what I want everyone to recognize is when we're doing this, it's more than just getting people in front of them. You end up kind of being a consultant too, which allows you to charge the higher prices because you're bringing your expertise to the table and you're also bringing them the customers. And for everyone watching right now that's saying, well, I don't have the expertise of a chiropractor. Well, what happens is after you work with so many, you start to understand the challenges that they get on the back end from the phones, etc. So once you are immersed into an industry, you pick up on all the things that Dr. Brian's talking about right now, right? So that's fantastic. So, and for everyone in space, 5 to 6 calls a day. Now, let's actually put some meaning to that. On average, how many calls are most of your clients seeing before you start working with them?
1 or 2 a day at random. And again, even the ones that are, they're not, I'm going to say they're not quality calls. They're just tire kickers. They're not coming in for a service or offer. When we do the targeting that, we learned in the course,
Absolutely. You're getting... Okay, you're back. Can you see us?
I can see you.
Okay, so what Brian was saying before we got cut off is that most of his chiropractors were getting only, 1 to 2 calls a day, and most of them weren't even quality. So here he comes in with his expertise, and he's literally getting them, 3 times, 5 times the results that they're used to getting. So in the beginning, when he's telling you about how he's working with, 30 other chiropractors, well, guess what? When you are tripling people's businesses and genuinely helping them, all of a sudden you start to get results. And I know there's so many people out there who hope, to make money without giving clients results, but that's not how you build a business. Your shit has to work. And so he comes in, he's actually proving out what he's talking about, and then obviously delivering from there. So what are some of the reactions that they're giving you? Like, have you gotten those calls of like, hey man, I'm really thankful you came in, like you saved my practice? Right. What kind of responses have you seen?
Well, the responses are, we're getting all these things. We may have to hire another staff. I'm actually getting other offers about coaching the staff on how to do scripting and all that, and I'm not doing those, so it's leading in other things. But you said something earlier. What I would tell your audience is, having a doctor, it is just a title. That doesn't mean who we are. We're dealing with people, and there's same patterns with people. Whether you're selling a widget, a gadget, medical, no matter what it is, it's still people. Yep. You got the 4 basic personality profiles. If you understand those and get your ads designed and you get in front of them, it's going to work the same. You don't have to have special degrees or anything. You really don't.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's what Facebook ultimately is, and I want everyone to understand this, because people go like, well, Billy, what happens when Facebook doesn't, operate anymore? What are you going to do with your business? I'm like, look, Facebook's just a platform to put your message in front of anybody you want in the world. It's not going to be Facebook, then it's going to be the next thing called Snickerdoodle. And that platform is going to allow you to do the same thing. Like, it's not going anywhere. What we do is not magic, right? And it's a skill set that anyone can learn, and that's the beauty of this. And so this is making me really happy to talk to you and hear about your growth. And so now let's go into the challenges. When you bring on that many clients, et cetera, you're bound to, and as you know from having your previous businesses, to run into challenges when it comes to scaling. So what kind of challenges are you facing now?
I'm getting some of them, they think they know marketing, and they're trying to tell, okay, we need to tweak this ad. We need to tweak. I'm like, listen, guys, I'll do it for a day or two. Then I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Then we have a sit down meeting to say, all right, we're going to handle this. Just trust me on this. And normally the results come in, then they leave me alone. That's one challenge, is you get the ones that go on Google and they do all the research, and I call them Dr. Google, and they know everything. And it's like, no. So that's the challenge. The other challenge is some of them, they don't understand, if just because we get an ad, we got it all looking good, and we post it, sometimes it takes a little bit to get approved, and some of them are expecting instant results. And I'll tell them, first of all, wait for approval. Normally it's not long, and then sometimes I'll tell them, like we said, we're dating the first few days. Let's throw some teaser ads out there. You got me in contract for a whole month. Give me 3 days to get it going. Exactly. But those are far and few in between. And really I think it's more of an attitude coming across as confident and competent, and you don't have the troubles. And if you don't put that out there, you're not going to get it.
Well, something big that you did there, and I want to kind of break it down to everybody, is setting expectations. Right? You said, I love the analogy you're using of like, we need to date your audience for a couple of days to find out what's happening. So when you're coming in and you're closing the client, like everyone out there, even if you know you can deliver the world, don't promise the world, right? Tell them the exact process. Hey, we're going to start off. We're going to test this a little bit. We're going to figure it out, and then, set their expectations and over-deliver on that, right? And so I think you're doing a really good job there. In addition to that, you're talking about ads getting approved for a while and the waiting there. As you continue to grow this, make sure they're always in the same business manager, because when they're in the same business manager, Facebook pretty much keeps data on everything that's happening there. And as you continue to grow your business, you're going to see them start to be a lot more lenient. You're going to see the reps to start to reach out to you. They're going to give you more approvals, and you'll be able to really scale those without any kind of BS on the Facebook side. And so, process. But as long as they're all in the same business manager account, that's important, because that's how Facebook, their reps, when they're looking at it, that's how they recognize that, hey, this guy is a serious advertiser who's the real deal. If they're spread out or anything, so just make sure you keep that with it together.
Hey, it's only 3 months. I'm working on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's so insane. So to everyone here, and before I just kind of ask you a couple more questions, this is incredible. This is incredible. It's nothing shy of that, but you take a guy who comes into the core. I mean, how much did you know about Facebook before you really came on board with this?
I could post pictures really good, and I can hit the boost on the post for $10. That's about it, man.
So it's not like he was some Facebook, marketing guru. He came in, followed the steps, leveraged his expertise, went out to the network, tried it out, didn't have the confidence, gave him a lower price, proved to himself that it could work, proved to his clients, and then continued to ask the rest of his network, do you want this? He looks up 3 to 4 months later, the guy's got 30 clients, all paying on average about $3,000, and a world of opportunities there. The one thing that I'll tell you is, are you doing a one-man show right now?
My daughter has a master's in graphics and computer stuff, so I'm throwing some of it to her, and she has some buddies. So I'm going to scale up, but I'm keeping I'm keeping overhead very low.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's your kind of vision right now to take it to the next level? Like, what do you want to do with this? Because now you got cash coming in. You've already had a company. I mean, what makes you happy?
I want to create, because I don't want to have another stale thing of doing ads over and over and over and over and over, same things. I'm going to start creating. I got a little mini course I've already created and launched, and I'm about to do another course and launch it using the materials to launch what we've learned in your course.
Yeah, so I'll give you a couple things here as you come into kind of scale it, and you also want to obviously keep this line of revenue open. And so, number one is the one hire that I would recommend to you is an account manager, because as you're running these campaigns simultaneously, it could very well suck all of your time to do it. However, with the process that you've laid out in place, guess what? One account manager can handle all of that. So, of course, are you losing a little bit of profitability? Sure. But is it worth it? 100%. So the best thing to do when hiring for that, and I would hire someone full-time, I wouldn't even do a part-time, but I would create a process. And every time you create the campaign, it literally should be almost like checklist. This is what you do here, and have them master that skill set. So in regards to growing, do I think you need to hire a bunch of people? Not at all. But hiring one person to manage the account, and you can still be the point of contact, because it's not like it's a ton of people you can handle it. They probably don't have too many questions, but the day-to-day of optimizing the campaign can be a time suck. And for you to really grow it, you're going to need to do that. So you get one account manager dedicated to here, and now you have this business, because it's kind of a business within a business. It runs itself. And then you come into the education space, which obviously we do a lot of, right? And so the first thing I will tell you that, let's talk about your mini course a little bit here. What are you offering there?
A lot of the docs, even business managers, they're so beat up and chewed up right now by some of the areas of the economy, they can't even afford to do the $3,000. So if you can't give a man a fish, you teach him how to fish. So what we've done is I've designed a mini course. It's a 4-week course on Facebook and social media marketing, designed for clinics, chiropractors. And I charge $397 is what I charge for that. Beautiful. And it's kind of a low end, but it's enough. And whenever I throw an ad out, I'll get 10 to 30 people sign up every time.
Absolutely. That's huge too. Oh wait, we cut out a little bit. Did we cut out Megan? So if you guys just got cut out a little bit, and Megan will edit this. But we were talking about his course for $397, and that's kind of the alternative. Okay, if you don't want us to do it for you, then you can pay this lesser amount and you can do it by yourself. So the one thing that I can tell you, and especially like with your personality, your speaking engagements, that has revolutionized the way that we teach. And it's so simple, but you have to start doing it now. Two things. Number one, put out as much content as you possibly can. So every time that you guys have students, and a couple of things, when you're selling them, when your clients and your, as the agency is actually closing people, record those. And everything you can record and document is an asset for the education side. And so what I would 1,000% recommend, I mean, it's made us so much money, is record everything. If you're talking with a client that's not in the same city as you and you're on a join.me, record the call, right? And so it just, that content, like, for example, us recording this call, when we deliver this and people see what you're going to do, we're going to get a bunch of applications to what we do, right? It's the leverage. So people are going to learn a ton because there are so many gems in this, but we also get to profit as a company. And so that's the key to all of the education, all of the courses, especially as you like to automate the sales process, right? And so, for example, we got like a 60-day email sequence. The second someone gives us their email, they're getting videos for 60 days of all the great stuff. And somewhere between that, they almost always buy something, right? So that's the same way you'll be able to leverage this. And if you're a fan of the creativity, then you're going to like speaking and creating anyway. So it's a perfect mix for you. And I think you're obviously doing everything right. Now just document the hell out of it.
I think that's a good point. And the other thing, you can also turn it around and use the 397 as a tripwire. You'll get a lot of people in. They'll start looking at that. Then we can say, well, listen, for that, we can also do it all for you. And that's what I've had a few actually get the course. And while they're learning the course, hire us to do that.
Yep.
And we take them for a month to 2 months while they have a dedicated staff person they're training and taking the course. So it's a great twofold thing.
Yep. Love it, man.
So yeah, that's
fun. And let's stay in content. Do you have any final questions for me?
Not at the moment. No, I'm at the scale where I'm treading in water. I can still see the horizon pretty good. When I get up where it's above the eyeballs, I'll be caught. You're only 5 minutes from my house. I'll be knocking on the door, say, hey,
stop by the office and show up. Well, awesome. I want to take a moment and just thank you for taking the time and sharing this. So I know everyone here is like, this was awesome. Do you have any words to say for people who are on the fence about joining us and coming into our world, our program, and making this investment?
Don't do the course and expect to retire because you're going to get busy doing some other things. I can tell you that. The course works. And the thing that I liked about it was more of not a cookie cutter, but more like a recipe. If you follow the recipe, it's going to turn out with certain results. And it leaves enough blank space in between the recipe where you can put your own personality and your own pizzazz in. That's what I liked about it. And then that's what I took. So yeah, the initial payment is, you'll get that back if you follow the thing, you'll get it back 100-fold. It's not a worries on that.
And then last question to you is, how is it just this business, the time it takes to do and the automated, how much time you've saved and the freedom you get to work from where you're at? How has it kind of changed your life? Like what changed for you being able to have this and scale it the way you are?
Well, after running 7 clinics and doing everything, you're really working. The thing I do now is I do it more for passion, and I block my days. I'll work about 2 hours in a block, then I'll go work out or jog on the beach. Then I'll work another 2 hours and go for a walk or go bicycle. I mean, you can really scale your time and enjoy it. That's what I like about it. And this is as dressed as I get. Normally I'm in shorts and a t-shirt in my office. I mean, that's what I like about it.
I love it, man. Well, big congratulations to you. I know we'll continue to work together for a long ass time, and this is really just the beginning. I mean, it's been 3 months. I mean, I can't imagine at the end of the year when we jump back on a call again and you share with everybody what's happened. I'd be like, holy cow. So everyone, Dr. Brian, thank you for being with us. I mean, the guy in 3 to 4 months, 90K of recurring revenue, 30 clients. He's teaching. He's got courses. He's leveraging his past, and he's a fucking real life example of what happens when you're willing to work and learn. He didn't say it was smooth and it was perfect. He ran into some obstacles. He got through them. Is continuing to bust his ass and make it fucking happen. Good job. Thanks, brother, for being with us. If you need anything, just reach out to us and we got you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Later, brother. Thank you so much.